Have you ever sat down playing one of the original 4 Five Nights at Freddy's games and thought, playing this is great and all, but this isn't challenging enough? Well, that's exactly what I thought. And I thought, why not do some ridiculous idea like playing all 4 Five Nights at Freddy's games at once? And the way I'm gonna do this is by using 4 different devices in order to play all of the games. So, without further ado, let's play 4 Five Nights at Freddy's games at the exact same time. Yeah, you probably thought I was kidding when I said I'd play all 4 games at once. But nope, this is not a joke. We are genuinely going to play 4 games at once and see how I do. There's no real goal to this video. I'm just going to try and see how far I can get with each of the games. Now, as you can hear, I have the volume up for all of the games already. And one thing I'd like to point out real quick is I had to use these Dire for Wimpy Kid books in order to make all of these tablets stand. So if you were wondering why there's Dire for Wimpy Kid books in the background, well, now you know the answer. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so I'm going to start a new game for every single one of the games. I know for some games I'm losing progress, but I don't really care. So this is probably the craziest challenge I've ever done. Oh god, I gotta mute all of the phone calls on all of the games. I don't know how I'm even gonna do FNAF 4 considering you need to hear. Alright, so this is very interesting. So for FNAF 2 and FNAF 3, I'm going to be doing the new versions, while FNAF 1 and FNAF 4, I'm going to have the old versions. I didn't do that on purpose, it just so happens those are the devices I have to play the games, because I just so happen to have 4 devices that can play 4 different games anyway. But this is definitely very interesting. Now, if somebody could beat all of these games at once, then I would love to see it. I'm sure there's some sort of Five Nights at Freddy's Pro out there that could do it. I know darn well I could never do something like that. I may have beaten 1020 mode on console, but I am not good enough to beat all of these games at once. Now, I will say, the good news with Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is that there's basically nothing to do on the first night. So honestly, I don't even have to worry about FNAF 3. I know the first night is pretty easy for all of the nights, but still. Once it gets to night 2 for these games, it's going to be really difficult to keep an eye on everything. I did forget that the old versions, the nights go by a lot faster, so I'll have to keep that in mind. The only game I have no confidence in beating is FNAF 4, because that game requires you to listen closely, and there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to listen closely when there's literally a bunch of different games playing at once. And I completely forgot about the music box. So that's going to be extremely tricky, having to keep an eye on the music box and all of the other games at the same time. Now, the real question is, which game am I going to get my first jump scare on? If I had to guess, I would definitely say FNAF 4. Pretty much the only way I'd beat a night in that game is through complete luck. And I'm running low on power on FNAF 1, so that's something I need to keep an eye on. Okay, I forgot about the little Freddle things or whatever they're called, so I'll have to keep an eye on that as well. But hey, at least we beat Night 1 on FNAF 3, though unfortunately now I'm going to have to actually pay attention. I have to do a mini game and FNAF 2 at the exact same time. This isn't fun, and there's something going on in FNAF 4 right now. Okay, I'll just assume there's an animatronic there. And sweet, we beat FNAF 1 Night 1. And at the same time I died in FNAF 4, I beat a night in FNAF 1. I'm sure that's something you never thought you'd hear. And here comes the purple guy. Alright, I'll try night 1 again on FNAF 4. Okay, FNAF 2 I really need to keep an eye on. I can barely tell what's going on. Now for FNAF 4, most of night 1 is fine, so I don't have to worry about it too much. But still, near 4 AM or so, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on it. Heck, if I just kept the door closed longer, I probably would have survived. And there's a ventilation error, great. Alright, FNAF 4 I'm not gonna touch for a while, because I know I'm not gonna need to do anything. And there's Toy Bonnie. Keep an eye on that while I go to the FNAF 3 game. Luckily for FNAF 2, we're already about to beat Night 1, so that's good. It's honestly so difficult to keep an eye on all of these games. I have to basically choose which 2 games I want to keep an eye on. And there's Toy Chica. And would you look at that, we beat Night 1 on FNAF 2. Now, I'm pretty sure FNAF 3 is the easiest game, so I'll try and not keep an eye on that one as much as the other games. But I do have to get rid of this ventilation error. And mute this call, and I think I just heard Springtrap. Yep, there he was. And there's Bonnie. So Springtrap is here and Bonnie is there, so this is not good. Okay, I don't know if Springtrap went away or what. And never mind, he's right there. Alright, is Bonnie gone yet? Yes, he is. Bonnie in the first game is definitely the most dangerous thing, besides Foxy, obviously. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm gonna have to die in FNAF 3. And the phone vibrated. Wonderful. Alright, it looks like things are finally happening in FNAF 4. Meanwhile, I have to keep an eye on the box. And I keep forgetting I have to check the lights in FNAF 1 as well. And there's Foxy. Alright, there's the mangle. And I believe I just heard something in FNAF 3. And there's the ventilation again. I'm honestly not sure if I'm even going to beat a night in FNAF 4. Especially after that just happened. Well, anyway, I'll just keep an eye on the cameras in FNAF 2. FNAF 3, I keep forgetting about Springtrap and how I need to keep an eye on him. But it's hard to keep an eye on Springtrap when FNAF 1 and 2 are still going, which are obviously the more difficult games. And hey, we beat Night 2 on FNAF 1. Awesome. Alright, but anyway, wind this music box. And there's Springtrap. And I died by Foxy in FNAF 2. Nice. I'm telling y'all, man, I didn't realize managing 4 games at once was so difficult. Alright, we'll continue on Night 2 while I try and keep an eye on Springtrap here. One thing I need to make sure I keep an eye on is Foxy. And there's the ventilation. And Springtrap just ran by, so that's just great. Don't forget the music box, obviously. This is no doubt one of the craziest challenges I've done on this channel. Now, if you thought me playing the game upside down was difficult, try playing 4 games at the exact same time. It's a lot more difficult than playing the game upside down. And there's Springtrap again. Looks like I'm gonna die again. And I died in FNAF 3 again. At least in FNAF 1 we got to Night 3. So I'd say in that game we made some decent progress. Unfortunately, Foxy is just about to come out and try and kill us, so I better keep a close eye on him. If it weren't for this music box, FNAF 2 probably wouldn't be as difficult, obviously, but it really does add that extra layer of challenge. I totally forgot to start playing the audio in FNAF 3, so I'll try doing that. And now we have Mangle in FNAF 2. I also just heard Freddy in FNAF 1. Alright, hopefully I don't die in FNAF 4 again, but chances are I probably will. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat this game when you have 3 other games playing at the exact same time. And it looks like we're gonna die in FNAF 1. I don't have time to pay attention to the jump scare because I'm focusing on FNAF 2 and 3 right now. And there's Balloon Boy. Put the mask on. While we have the mask on, I'll play the audio in FNAF 3. And I'll take a wild guess I'm gonna die. Nope, I'm not. Not yet, anyway. Surprised Foxy hasn't come and killed me yet. And I gotta keep an eye on this music box. I'll close the door and just hope that Bonnie isn't there. Gotta take care of the camera system. Oh well, I tried. Alright, I want to make sure I keep an eye on Foxy for FNAF 1. It's kind of funny how in FNAF 1 and FNAF 2 you have to keep an eye on Foxy. Although with FNAF 2 you just have to flash him, you don't really have to keep an eye on him per se. Alright, we'll do FNAF 4 again, even though it's basically pointless at this rate. I also need to get the ventilation air in FNAF 3. Hurry up, hurry up. Alright, I think I just... Yep, there's Springtrap right there. And I died by Foxy. Wonderful. I'll try to play the audio, but it's probably not going to do me any good. Meanwhile, with FNAF 4, obviously nothing going on. And there's my death. I need to make sure with FNAF 2 I keep an eye on Foxy by flashing him all the time. But it's kind of hard to do that when you have all these other games at the same time. Albeit FNAF 4 I'm not really doing anything, but still. Alright, I hear something going on in FNAF 3. Play the audio in FNAF 3, check the lights in FNAF 1. I'm telling y'all, this is one of the most difficult things I've ever done. Like, how are you supposed to realistically beat any of these games when you're playing them all at the same time? I honestly just don't see how it'd be possible. But if there's somebody who would like to take on the challenge of beating all of these games, I'd love to see that uploaded on YouTube or something. Because that would be a new level of impressive, if you ask me. And I need to fix the audio. But while I'm fixing the audio, of course, I can work on the box. Alright, like I said, I want to make sure I keep an eye on Foxy this night. Alright, there's Bonnie. Alright, wind the box, wind the box. I think I'll just keep the door closed in FNAF 1 and hope I make it, because I'm really, really close to beating the night in that game. But while I'm doing that, I'll do the ventilation air. And we did it, we beat Night 3 on FNAF 1. So pretty much the easiest game out of all of these is Five Nights at Freddy's 1. And there's Toy Bonnie. Oh god, hurry up with the box! And ventilation. I think Bonnie is here, so I better hurry up. And I died in 2 games at once. Wonderful. Make that 3 games since Springtrap is watching me. I feel like I could at least beat Night 2 in FNAF 3. And I died again. Alright, I'll try one more time. And whenever I die next on one of these games, I'll call it off. But I'd say for the most part, I did pretty well, at least on FNAF 1. But the rest of the games, I did pretty trash. And even then, I barely kept an eye on FNAF 1. As you can see with Foxy being gone. Let me hurry up and get him. I probably should have started these games on a harder night, but I figured, you know, I might as well make it somewhat easy and start with Night 1. But I still haven't beaten Night 1 on FNAF 4. Not that that surprises me or anything. And plus with FNAF 3, Night 1, you literally cannot die. So I admit I kind of cheated it in some ways, and I'm dead. I died by Foxy in 2 games at once. And hey, we got a minigame, that's cool. Though I might as well play that game while I'm doing this minigame in FNAF 2. And there goes the minigame. And that's the end of the video now. This was actually one of the more fun challenges to do, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did. But anyway, shout out to my channel members, thank you guys so much for being members, and sadly this time I have no fan art to show. I am very sad. But anyways, that's about it. Goodbye.